Can you guys hear me now? Let me know. Aw, thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks. All right, you guys should be able to hear me now. Sorry that the mic was off. I usually have my other mic connected. So, you guys, yeah, you should be able to see me. Let me see. No sound, no sound. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah, you can. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now the audio should be working. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just start over. I'm going to repost this on Unravel with Natly Denise, and I think that this should be a regular occurrence where we do some sort of like border recap. If you guys don't know Anthony, this is my now fiance. Hey. And so we have been assessing the border the past couple nights, and the things that we've seen I think need to really be broken down, because usually his live streams are like an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and so it's hard to ingest everything that's happening all at once. And there's a lot of important, really disturbing things that are happening night by night that I feel that need to be broken down. So with that being said, I'm going to pull up some particular parts that he has covered really thoroughly. Who's your little friend? This is my fiance, guys. If you guys don't know the news, I got engaged recently. This is Anthony Aguero. I will definitely link all of his information in the description below once this wraps up. But once again, this will go on Unravel. So I know that right now I'm on Natly Denise, but this will go on my other channel, Unravel. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. So go ahead and just give yourself an intro for people who don't know who you are or what you do or anything like that.
All right, well, my name is Anthony Aguero, and obviously I'm a full-time reporter. I've been doing this, covering the whole border phenomenon, going on 4 years now. And it's been really, really busy, and obviously recently I got engaged, and I'm really, really excited. But we're also really looking forward to working and getting things done and bringing awareness and continue bringing the truth to all of you guys.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of the reason why, he does this and why I feel that this is important to break down is because a lot of what we see in the media is very candy coated, and it's not really, it doesn't give you the grit of what actually happens day by day or night by night. So thanks, guys. Everybody's congratulating us. Look how sweet. So the first thing that I kind of want to overview is, we're just going to jump straight into it. So the other night, we were at a location at a breach point, and there was a particular individual. How did you receive the information on the warehouses? Like, how did you even get into that?
So recently, as many people that we're seeing come across, I started wondering where all of these people would be stopping, in the vast number that they're coming in. Where are they stopping immediately before actually coming and crossing over? Mm-hmm. And as I started pressing on the migrants, asking them questions consistently, little by little I started pulling information from them, and it led me to realize that a lot of these people are actually, guys, they're being housed in warehouses. Mm-hmm. They're being housed in warehouses in the matter that when they are leaving their respective countries, guys, you basically are on a one-way ticket without being allowed to get off of this train or this route. So many of them are put onto a bus all the way from their country, and they are bused from country to country to country, from city to city to city in each individual country. Mm-hmm. Now, when they travel on bus, they'll travel 8, 9 hours, 10 hours at a time, and then they unload them at these huge, what seems to me, aluminum-like warehouses. And so these people continuously tell us that there is a shortage of food, very little water, the temperatures are extreme.
Yeah.
And it's a very dangerous situation. Now, many of these migrants, all of them carry a cell phone. Mm-hmm. What they've been telling us is that as they arrive to certain warehouses, mm-hmm. they notice for themselves that at the most ugliest warehouse, the ones that are like the dirtiest, before they actually put them in that warehouse, they would collect everybody's cell phone to prevent any kind of pictures from leaking from these facilities. Okay, they've told us the capacity has ranged anywhere from 30 to 40 all the way to 700 people at a time in these warehouses that these people are being bussed into. Now, it's interesting because it seems it's so very well orchestrated and it's so very well coordinated and planned out. You have to wonder who is funding such treatment of these people, and so organized that they have these routes going, and then they have filter areas when you arrive in Ciudad Mexico, in Mexico. Certain people go and are being sent into different directions.
Right.
And so personally, I believe, and for those of you guys that might be familiar with my work or might not, we've actually gone into Mexico. I've gone with my partner Oscar to Tijuana, and we've actually encountered these NGOs, what they're called, is non-profit organizations, non-governmental organizations, which are being given billions of dollars by the Biden administration with zero oversight. Now, a lot of these places, unfortunately, are complicit in assisting all of this massive movement. We have confirmed reports that some of these American activists are actually in these foreign countries recruiting these people, actively telling them what to say. They're coaching them before they get over here to the United States Border Patrol. Many of the times that we're out there, you see these people with a sense of entitlement, a chip on their shoulder, like we owe them something. And that's because of the conditioning and the training that they have been given by these lefties that are down there currently coaching these people on what to say.
Right. So he has a very specific example, and we're going to play it. And although he's speaking in Spanish to the migrants, the thing about it is when Anthony speaks to the migrants, a lot of times his audience sometimes gets a little mad, or there's like a subset. Not everybody, but sometimes people get really mad. And I think to preface what we're going to see, the reason why you want to understand why Anthony talks to the migrants that he does is because we're trying to understand what's going on with the narrative of the caravans, for instance, for 2 years back or whatever. What's going on with the influx all of a sudden? Why is everybody coming in sick? So there are particular things that, as an investigative journalist, you have to have a certain demeanor and a certain way to talk to the migrants. So I just want to preface that, because sometimes people get upset that, he talks to the migrants a certain way, but it's to also not just extract information, but to also, we're human, we're not just going to be nasty to these people. So anyway, we're going to go straight into this video, and I'm just going to kind of play it at low volume. For those that understand Spanish, you'll understand what he's saying, but for you, understanding the audience, being bilingual, I want you to pause it at certain places, because I want you to go in certain segments where that it's important information, and we'll pause it, and I want you to repeat what he says and what you.
So basically, the interview that you guys are about to see, I try to be as humble as I can when I'm approaching these people. I'm just as upset, and I share the same sentiments that possibly many of you do on the other side of the screen. It's very frustrating to me as an individual, as an American, to see the way that this is being orchestrated and done. But at the same time, if I want to be effective at what I do, I have to leave my emotions in the truck before I get out and start doing what I'm supposed to. Me being ugly or disrespectful or nasty towards them is not going to help. It's not going to get us any information. So I have to be able to talk to these people and communicate effectively. And so, as you guys are about to see right now, I just pull up on them and I start asking questions. I sit on the floor with them, to make them feel a little bit more at ease. I'm not afraid of human contact. I'm not afraid of no virus, because first and foremost, I have a hedge of protection over me by my Lord and Savior. And so I'm out there trying to report and bring you guys the truth as to what's happening out here on our southern border.
Very good. So we'll go ahead and play the video, guys, but just know that as I play it, we'll stop it, you know, or you'll stop me, and, you know, he'll explain certain parts. So we'll go ahead and get started at this point right here.
¿Me podría decir uno de ustedes de dónde vienen y cuánto llevan viajando? O saludos a su país.
I'm asking them, can you guys please tell me where you guys are coming from, how long you've been traveling, and would you like to tell your people that might be watching in your country hello?
Ya,
¿Tú de dónde vienes?
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
Sí.
¿Cuánto tiempo llevas viajando?
Un mes y 8 días, creo.
Un mes.
They're from Nicaragua and they've been traveling for a month and 8 days approximately.
8 días. Bueno, bienvenidos. Les quería, ustedes, ¿cómo fue tu experiencia en las bodegas?
So I'm asking them right off the bat, in an assertive manner that I already know that they've been in these warehouses, because if you tippy toe and you start asking, they're gonna deny as they've been coached to do so. So in an assertive manner, I tell them, can you please elaborate a little bit on your experience in these warehouses where you guys were kept?
La verdad que no tan buena que digamos.
No,
The truth is, it wasn't as good as I can tell you.
es lo que muchos me vienen diciendo lo mismo.
I tell them, a lot of the migrants that are coming through here are telling me the same thing.
¿Me podrías explicar o darme poco detalle de lo que tú viste o de lo que tú no estás en consejo de las bodegas?
I said, can you please explain to me of a little bit of what you might have witnessed, a little bit of what you went through as far as being held captive in these warehouses?
¿O cómo podrían mejorar las
How
situaciones
can
ahí?
how can the situation inside of the warehouses be bettered for migrants that are coming?
La verdad que mucha acumulación de gente.
Mucha
He says there's a lot of people being piled up in there.
acumulación.
Sí, meten a veces hasta 30, 40, 60 personas en una sola.
Sometimes they pile us up into 30, 40, or 60 people inside one warehouse alone.
La casa o una sola bodega.
Ajá.
Y pues yo considero que no debería ser así por lo que está el virus ahorita.
Sí.
I consider that it shouldn't be like that right now because of the pandemic that's happening. So they're very, very conscious about what's happening, guys.
Correcto.
Entonces es como más fácil para que el virus se pase.
So keeping us all together like that, it's much, much easier, and we are more susceptible to passing COVID amongst each other, he says.
Ajá.
Y la falta de comida también.
Sabes, ahorita la gente que acaba de llegar es exactamente lo que me estaban diciendo, que a veces pasaban unas hambres pésimas ahí.
I said, exactly. So some of the migrants that are coming through here are telling us that sometimes you guys would go through some pretty bad hunger. They would have you guys without food for long periods of time.
Y no los dejaban ni salir a agarrar.
And they wouldn't even let you guys out to go grab any snacks or food. Is that correct?
Algo de comer, ¿verdad?
No te permiten.
No, they
salir
don't let you.
a una tienda ni nada.
They don't let you
Solo
even go to the store or anything.
adentro.
Ajá.
Solo adentro y a veces no te dan comida. A veces,
You have to stay in there, and sometimes they don't even feed you, he says.
sí, a veces no.
Y la situación de la agua y el
And how's the situation on the water? Can you please elaborate on that for me?
calor. ¿Me podrías decir
And
un
the
poquito
heat.
sobre eso, por
Can you
favor?
tell me about that?
Sobre la calor sí, es algo bastante desesperante. por
Over
así
the heat, I can tell you it's very frustrating to be in there.
decirlo, porque al haber tanta gente en un lugar y
Because
tanta
when there's so
gente,
many
los
people
niños
just crammed up
llorando,
in
¿no?
one
Imagino.
place,
todo el mundo sofocado. la
everybody's
Ajá.
just suffocated in there in one solid little area.
So let's just pause there and kind of, because we're going in, like, we're kind of progressing through the video. So from here, your initial idea is, okay, tell me about the bodegas. Tell me about the warehouses that you're being held. Now, they don't know that you know that. They don't know that
Right.
you know that. You're basically trying to extract this information. So the information that he's basically giving Anthony is, hey, yeah, like, he's basically, first of all, confirming, yeah, we're put in warehouses where it's miserable conditions. We're basically laying on top of each other. We're suffocating. And he's basically going into more detail. So I kind of wanted to just recap that before we progress into more detail.
This is where it gets really interesting, guys. You guys check this out. He says it's very little water for the amount of people that they're putting into these warehouses. You can't even take a shower. Sometimes you don't have enough time to even take a shower. So on the next point, you guys will see what they start comparing this kind of treatment to.
Les acaban el agua o tienen horario en los cuales ustedes pueden usar.
I'm asking them, so they shut down the waters and you guys have specific time schedules in which you guys can shower at, like shower times?
Los baños o pueden bañarse, les tienen un horario o...
Yes, whenever you have the opportunity to do so.
Entonces,
they don't even let you take a quick shower sometimes. They don't let you bathe in there.
Si nos ponemos a la neta, es básicamente los están teniendo, bueno, por decir hasta cierto punto en un, por decir en un tipo de lugar como si estuvieran en la cárcel, ¿cierto? ¿No? Porque
sí, más o menos por así decirlo.
So I'm telling them, okay, so based on what you guys are telling me, this is basically you guys being held captive in jail-like conditions. Would you say that's fair? He says, yes, absolutely. The way that they treat us in there, it's like we're in jail.
Porque si básicamente les tienen todo acceso bloqueado a ustedes, no los dejan salir, y como en la cárcel no los dejan salir, en la cárcel tienes que pedir permiso antes de bañar, o nomás te puedes bañar en ciertas horas, y nomás tú estás atado a comer, a cuando ellos te han de comer, pues eso se oye, se me escucha a mí como si fuera...
If you're just susceptible to when they want to feed you, when they want to feed you and allow you to take a shower, when they want to let you shower, it sounds a lot like a jail-like condition, and they're agreeing with me.
Un tipo de cárcel, ¿no? Por decir. Sí, más o menos.
He says,
bueno,
yes, something like that.
Lo mejor. ¿Tú a qué te dedicas, viejo?
Soy estudiante.
¿Tú eres estudiante?
I ask him, hey, all right, so what do you do for a living? He says, I'm a student.
Sí. ¿Cuántos años? Caballero.
Estaba estudiando barbería.
¿Barbería?
That guy's a barber.
Aquí también hace muy buen negocio en los barberos. Muy bien, muy bien. ¿Y cuánto tiempo falta?
I'm asking him, how much longer before you finish and graduate?
Me faltaban, estaba en segundo de odontología, me faltaban.
He's an ontologist. He said he had 2 more years left of school left in Nicaragua.
3 años más.
He's an ontologist. Okay, bueno, hey, te deseo lo mejor, viejo, y espero que una vez que pases este proceso te pase.
I told him, hey man, I wish you the best, and I hope that once you get through this process, hopefully you're able to, get into school and be something positive of yourself.
Reescribir en la escuela, ¿verdad? Y poder sacar algo.
En el nombre de Dios, que sí.
Que así será, viejo.
He says, in Jesus' name.
Les vaya bien, y tú también, viejo, te deseo lo mejor. ¿Me podrías, tú cuántos años tienes, joven?
22 años.
And I asked this guy, this is where it's going to take you guys on a loop, all right? This guy is 22
estás bien chavalón,
years old.
¿Y tus jefes allá se quedaron?
I said, where are your parents? He said, oh, they stayed back.
Y por decir, ¿tú cuánto tiempo llevabas viajando? ¿Cuánto tiempo piensas que llevas viajando, más o menos?
Igual.
¿Vinieron juntos?
Sí.
The guy I just spoke to is actually his cousin. They came together. They've been traveling for a month and 8 days.
Okay.
Encontramos en el mismo bus que venía.
Bueno, pero tú eres de El Salvador?
No, Nicaragua.
Nicaragua, discúlpame, qué gacho, bueno, no te creas. ¿Y tú? Nicaragua también. ¿Y se encontraron ya en el camino o salieron juntos?
Con él somos familiares, con él nos encontramos.
Órale, está
They're
bien,
cousins,
se
he's
cuidaron.
saying.
¿Eres el tío?
Sí.
Órale.
Oh, that's his uncle.
Está bien. ¿Y tú me podrías presentar o decirme un poquito de lo que tú pasaste, tu
I
experiencia?
said, can you please explain to me a little bit of your experience and what you felt like being in these warehouses?
¿Cómo podrías mejorar las condiciones?
How can they
en estas
improve the
bodegas?
conditions?
Creo que para mejorarla no la mejoran porque entre más gente mete.
He said, I don't think they're ever going to improve them because the more people they put in there, the more money they're making.
Sí, más gente, más dinero para ellos.
Sí, no permiten mascarillas, se las quitan, por eso.
He says, this is pay attention. He just said, you know, they don't allow us to wear masks. They take them away from us.
¿Te quitan las mascarillas?
And I ask them, they take away your masks? He says, this guy is saying, they tell us over there that Mexicans don't use masks. And if we use masks, we're more susceptible to being found out that we're not from around there. It's saying that the majority, they tell them at these warehouses, the majority of Mexicans don't wear masks, so don't wear them.
¿No te permiten usarla?
They don't let you wear these masks? He says yes, because then the people in those towns will find out that we're not from around there. Guys, this is huge breaking news. You guys have to help us ring the alarm, because as we're seeing these spikes, and I know she's very cautious on her channel. As we're seeing these spikes of you guys know what, and then they're trying to shut us back down, it's clear as day. There's evidence right here that this is being done deliberately. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't us fabricating stories. This is coming to you guys live. From boots on the ground out there, and these people are literally just pouring out their hearts to us as far as what they experienced and what they went through. So this is exactly why I treat these people with respect and dignity, because it's a lot more helpful for us to be able to know what is actually happening down there.
So before you play that, I just also want to recap that these guys, they're all witness accounts. They're all saying the same thing. They're all agreeing with their body language. They're nodding. They're saying the same things, giving the same details. Yes, they told us to not wear masks. They told us that, you know, this environment, you know, Mexicans don't wear masks. So I want you guys to take that into account, that their body language is coinciding with what they're saying, all three of them. So they basically, so to recap, you know, they're talking about the conditions of the warehouses, and then I'm just going to go ahead and play it, and you can continue.
Te quitan el celular para que no tomes fotos o no grabes.
He just said they also take away our cell phones before we walk in there. And I asked him, do they take your cell phones away before you guys go in there again? I asked him again, just so that you guys are able to see that I'm doubling down on what they're saying. And look at their body language, and they're nodding their heads. He said basically they cut all communication from you. They don't let you even communicate with your family. Guys, if you guys don't agree with me, or may not, but this is trafficking. Okay, when you're moving amounts of people in such manner that you disconnect them from the world, that you do not let them walk out to the corner store to buy chips or sodas or some waters even, this is trafficking.
Todo el tiempo, durante todo el viaje que te tienen ellos.
En algunos lados.
And he said basically they disconnect you from your family. And I said, the whole time? He says, yes, basically, in some particular bodegas.
Entonces, sales de las bodega a un autobús que ellos ya te tienen allá afuera.
So, I'm recapping. I said, so when you leave the bodegas, the warehouse, they load you guys up onto these buses that are already waiting outside for you guys, right?
¿Verdad? Te trepas en el autobús,
And he says,
no te
yes.
puedes bajar hasta la próxima bodega, ¿correcto?
He says, and I ask him, so then you jump on the bus and you're not allowed to get off of the bus until the next warehouse? And he says, yes.
Y dependiendo
He said, that's correct.
la bodega en la cual llegas o en la casa que llegas, ellos deciden ahí si, me vas a dar tu celular o no me lo das.
Sí, correcto.
And then I ask him, and then depending on the warehouse or the stash house that they take you guys to, they tell you guys, hey, we're going to take your cell phones. Is that correct? He says, yes. At some points, yes.
¿Dirías tú, o a lo mejor me podrían decir uno de ustedes, a lo mejor que les quitaban más los celulares?
I'm asking him, would you say that if you look back and make a little memory, would you say that you were more susceptible to being taking your cell phone from at the warehouses where where it was the worst conditions at?
En los lugares que estaban en pésimas condiciones.
He
Si
said
te pones
yes.
a pensar a recolectar poquita memoria.
Yes, I'm telling them, just do a little callback. Remember a little bit. At the warehouses where they took your cell phones out, took your cell phone away, were those the worst captive conditions for y'all? He's saying yes.
Los lugares que tenían pésimas condiciones o en las peores, ese era el lugar donde les quitaban ustedes los celulares.
Sí, en los lugares donde había peores condiciones era donde nos quitaban.
He says yes, definitely. The places where the situation was horrendous, those were the warehouses where they would take away our cell phones. Guys, this is breaking freaking news.
Yeah, so this is why I feel like this needs to be broken down. So I'm gonna actually pull up, who was it, Victor? What was his name? Victor Marx or something like that. I'm gonna pull up an Instagram video in which there is another reporter. He was reporting from Guatemala.
He was in Panama, babe.
In Panama. So he actually, let me go to your account. I think that's where you posted it.
Yeah,
so. This guy is actually down where they're actually doing a lot of this shipping activity. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because this coincides with everything that Anthony is asking this guy. So this is basically going back to the source here where down in Latin America, this is what's happening. Something is happening. We don't quite know, and this is why we're making this stream. Something is happening where it's being funded, it's being coordinated, and it's being collaborated between what we believe, and this is just an opinion, we don't know that this is true, but it feels to be that these are NGOs that could be possibly doing this, organizing this in such a manner because it's too coordinated and it's too much of a sophisticated operation. Mm-hmm. So this guy here, can you just give a synopsis before I play it?
So this gentleman is actually out here he's in Panama. This was posted 2 days ago. He's in Panama, and what he's witnessing, he actually has several videos out. He's actually witnessing massive amounts of migrants all bunched up inside basically some kind of camp-like facility. Where they're actually busing them, putting them on buses and busing them from country to country to country. Now, I don't know if these people that he's talking about or that he's witnessing being put on these buses, I don't know if they form or they are part of the same chain of warehouses that we've been privy to in the videos that I showed you guys. But, I mean, if you just put one and one together, more than likely, it's probably the same kind of service that these guys just explained to us that were coming from Nicaragua. So have a listen.
Hey, so you're not going to believe this. We're way down here, really, in Panama, near the Darien Gap, where people come through the most unlikely situations, dangerous beyond. We'll share more about that, but what you see behind us right now is what's unbelievable. Tell them, Jeff, what's going on?
I don't understand why I'm still shocked when I see stuff like this. The organization of getting migrants from countries all across the globe, all the way up to the U.S. border. Why am I still shocked with all this?
Literally, these are buses someone's paying for to take these migrants that just came out of the jungle in the Darien Gap in Panama, and they're driving them to, I believe, Costa Rica. And
8-hour drive.
8-hour drive, offloading them there. And then from there, they're being shipped. Folks, listen to me. We're right here now in the heart of it.
All in the dead of night.
In the dead of night. This is crazy. This is what's happening. And our government could stop this because what we care about is people, right? We care about people. We want people to have an opportunity to legally immigrate to the U.S. But what all these other people aren't going to tell you is how many people just died trying to cross a 60-mile trek through the journey.
1 out of 10. I've heard it between 1 out of 7 and 1 out of 10.
It's a bad statistic, folks.
We're going to go see for ourselves tomorrow.
So let me tell you, I'll just say this. The Biden administration should be stopping this. And they could. It is an intentional operation to weaponize migrants, to get them pulled from around the globe to come, and they're bringing them to the U.S. The tragedy that happens, we're not talking about just good immigrants coming in. The tragedy is good people are dying. Women are being raped. Kids, it's bad. But look, with this, people are willing to risk it. So I'll tell you what, it's we the people that make a difference, not just the government.
All right, so that was Victor Marx. So that's just kind of going hand in hand with what we're seeing, and what you just witnessed him narrate through, speaking with the migrant and talking through the warehouses. So what we know, and all we know is we have dots. We don't have the answers yet. We don't have, everything put together. All we have is dots, and all we can do is connect them. So the first thing that we have is that we have migrants who are witness accounts all coinciding on nodding their heads with their body language saying, yes, we were put in warehouses. They were deplorable conditions. They were inhumane. Last night, you just went through a stream, and I'm not going to pull it up, but you can you talk to a woman. And if you guys are interested in his streams, go to his channel, Real Anthony Aguero. I'll link it in the description below. He actually, at the when we're walking the migrants back up to the processing area, there is a woman who will not be shared on camera, but you can hear in her voice how she is pretty much describing to you the same exact thing that the men that you just heard are. She's explaining the same exact details. Yes, they were deplorable conditions. They were hot. They were, extreme.
And these people are like nights apart. And it wasn't even on the same location where we interviewed these guys. It was completely different location. Nights apart from one another.
Right.
And they are telling us the same story.
Yeah. So with that wrapping up, those are dots that we have in regards to warehouses, deplorable conditions, and then with what you heard from Victor Marx, what seems to be, and we don't know this for sure, but we're not going to confirm yes or no that this is happening, but it looks to be that this is a very intentional operation where it's being heavily funded. There's lots of money going into this. There's lots of collaboration, coordination. What seems to be with NGOs, and if you guys don't know what that is, that's a non-governmental organization. They're supposed to be kind of like charities in a way. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole other subject with Catholic charities and things of that matter. We're not going to discuss that right now. But one other thing, we're just going to wrap up that subject. One other thing that I really wanted to platform as a discussion was one thing that I wanted to platform as a discussion was the trafficking that we're seeing night by night, different locations. This is it's yesterday really I wanted to pick up this little girl off of the ground because she was with this older man, and this is a repetitive scene where we see single adult males coming in to the country with kids, and most of the times, not all the time, most of the time, majority of the time, it's with little girls. So what are you seeing night by night? What is their story? And I already know because I've seen it and I've seen your streams, but tell them what do you witness with single adult males, the kids, and what is their story almost always?
So what we're witnessing at the border as well, in record numbers, guys, since I've been doing this, I've never seen it the way it's happening. There's massive amount, like she just said, males coming in with little girls. Now, what's really concerning is that they all have the same story. They all claim that they all play the victim card, and they all say, my wife left me. They all say, my wife left me, my wife left me. Because the first thing that comes to my mind when I see a grown man with a little girl is, who is he? Or where is the girl's mother? So I go up to him, I tell him, good evening, who you traveling with? Because sometimes a woman might be in the picture and maybe I just not seen her. And they tell me, oh, just me and her. And I'm like, well, who's her? Oh, that's my daughter. And I ask him, well, where's the mom? Oh, well, she left us, so I'm bringing her for a better life. And I'm like, okay. And meanwhile, you see the little kid's face in distraught, man. Total wreck. These little kids, unfortunately. You could tell they've witnessed probably some really, really harsh conditions. And what's even more alarming, guys, is that I've been there when Border Patrol is doing a pre-intake screening of these people while they're being taken into custody out on the field. This is prior to them going to a detention or processing center. Border Patrol helps the processing centers by doing a pre-report before these people actually arrive over there. And as I'm standing there next to the Border Patrol agent and these individuals that are basically giving their information to the agent, the individuals obviously know their own name very well and they know their birth date. But then the Border Patrol, a lot of these guys aren't expecting the Border Patrol to ask them right then and there, what is that kid's full name? And it's like a deer in headlights.
What's their birth date?
And when you see a grown man not know the child's birth date or the child's full name, it should be an alarm for everybody. It should set off red flags immediately. We've witnessed guys be asked these questions. What's that little girl's name? And he literally pulls up papers, fumbling through them, trying, and I say trying because a lot of them don't know how to read, trying to read and sound out the child's name, trying to read these kids' birthdays. And I see the frustration in some of our law enforcement officers, agents that are out there, because they know it's bullcrap, just like I do.
Yeah.
And so I try to highlight individuals like that. And right before I even speak to them, I tell my audience, look, I'm going to go ask this guy, and this is exactly what he's going to tell me. And sure enough, I go ask him, and it's the same story over and over and over again.
So we actually have very recent example of this from last night. This was another breach point. And you're going to see here, I'm going to put the sound up. You're going to see here that you're going to see a bunch of males in this boat. You guys already see it. There's a bunch of males in this boat, and then you also see kids. And then you're going to see Anthony going up to them. Now, if you want better footage, better audio, go to his channel, Real Anthony Aguero. You'll be able to see the entire stream. But this is basically a very, very, very specific clip in which showcases exactly what he's talking about.
There's one in the very front. There's one in between. There's literally
That's the
person,
cartel
child,
right there,
person,
guys.
child.
Those are
And
coyotes
again,
with
as
the
I
cartel.
stated, there are single males with single adult males with children all the time, every single time. You guys see this. Every single time, guys. This is literally them getting out onto U.S. soil. It's always adult males with children. Always, always, always.
¿Y la mamá de los niños, jefe? ¿Y la mamá de los niños? ¿Pero dónde está la mamá de la niña? ¿En Honduras? ¿Por qué se quedó? Porque no pudimos traerla. ¿Y usted?
He's asking him where's the mom.
¿Por qué se quedó ella? Está perro, le encontré que la hacen. ¿Usted caballero dónde está la mamá del niño? Los dejó abandonados.
Every single time, guys, every single time, he's asking them every single time, where is the mom? Where's the mom? Where's the mom? And every single time, it's the same story. She stayed behind. She couldn't afford to come. She left, whatever. It's the same baloney story.
So you guys saw there was 3 males. There was 3 single adult males that came out with children, and they all had the same exact story. She stayed behind. She couldn't afford to come. She left us. It's always the same story. And there was one example in particular last night. It was like when we were wrapping up and we were walking up with the migrants. There was an older man. He was
Thank you, Mama Gigi.
Oh, thanks,
She's
Gigi.
always so supportive.
Oh, thank you. But when we were walking up, this man was what, like 70, 80?
He was like at least like 65, 70 years old.
Very, very old man, and
with a probably like a 4 or 5 year old little girl, babe.
yeah. And the thing that broke my heart was and this is a repetitive scene because you actually saw this at the other point in I think behind the what I mean, the big one. And this girl looked absolutely devastated, like she's been crying her eyeballs out. She looked depressed.
She looked broken, like her spirit gone.
Yeah.
There was no expression in this little girl's eyes. She was like 5 years old. There was zero emotion behind her stare, just like a blank. Honestly, I could almost like they had been sedated prior to, like,
yes,
like just blind, no life, no fire in her little eyes, and she just sat there on the floor on this man's feet, curled up with her arms wrapped around her knees and just looking down, broken, not looking around, not wanting to know nothing.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, this was just we've been out like a couple nights, like a few nights, but this was just like a big rundown of everything that I guess was a highlight. Of course, we're going to continue going out. I'm going to go out again. We're going to kind of observe. But I think that every night there's always a unique situation that could be showcased as, some sort of rundown report or whatever. So if you guys like this, please support the channel. Please let me know if you like this. I'll leave this up for a little bit on my channel, but then it will come down. It will go on Unravel. This will also become an audio podcast. So if you follow Unravel on all the audio platforms, you'll also be able to listen to our conversation there. But anyway, let me know, you guys, how you like the stream. If you like this is more of a pilot sort of episode on a rundown of the trafficking report, or I'm sorry, the trafficking report, the border report, the things that we're witnessing. I think it's important for you guys to understand the scenes, the scenarios that are going on uniquely every night. So if you like this, please let us know. And if you do, then we'll do more of these. So anyways, I just wanted to showcase his work and also just the things that are going on. So guys, thank you so much for supporting. Thank you for being informed on all of this stuff. We'll definitely probably have a lot more to talk about later. But this is just a recap, and yeah, we really feel that the world needs to know what's going on, especially with the warehouses and the child trafficking, and it's just really disgusting, but it has to be said, and our hearts need to be disturbed in order for us to act. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for supporting the channel. I will leave this up for a little bit. Again, Unravel with Natly Denise. This is going to go on that channel. I'll make a post. I'll make it on Instagram, on YouTube, so you guys will see it. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.
Follow us on Instagram at Nat1776 and Nat1776. Follow us on there. See you guys.
That's our gushy channel. All right, guys. We